to the left, you'll see the bankers Coutts & Co. under the sign of the three crowns within a red disc. Begun in 1692, Coutts specialised in wealth management for the aristocracy, and former clients have included such figures as the Duke of Wellington, who attended Eton College, and King George III. By 1963, all Coutts branches were using computers, the first British bank to have a fully computerised accounting system.
Through it. No.
Look out to the left, just past the Indian restaurant, for the red Victorian post box with its vertical slot instead of the more familiar horizontal slot. This post box is still in use today. Immediately after is the Tiger Garden restaurant. Outside the front of the building are the old town stocks, where petty criminals were punished. The building dates back to 1420, some 20 years before Eton was founded. The Tiger Garden was known until recently as the Cockpit Restaurant, named after one of the building's many uses, and part of the old cockpit still exists at the back of the restaurant, where the sport of cockfighting used to take place. In a few moments, we'll be making a right turn. As we do so, you'll see Windsor Bridge to your left. The earliest mention of the bridge here is in 1242, when permission was granted for oak trees to be cut down from Windsor Forest to build, or possibly rebuild, the bridge. The founding stone of this bridge was laid in 1822, and the silver trowel used in the ceremony has been preserved. In 1970, the bridge was permanently closed to traffic following concerns about cracks in its cast iron arches. This is our stop number 7 for the High Street and Windsor Bridge. We've pulled up alongside the Waterman's Arms pub. The building's been here since 1542. Remember to save your city sightseeing ticket, as you can get a discount on city sightseeing tours in many towns in Britain and abroad. The building to the left is the Eton Community Hall, where the young princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, daughters of Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, had their first ballet lessons.
Oh dear.
All those smells. I can smell those swallows from here.
Look out to the right for Asquith's Teddy Bear Shop, where you can buy teddy bears of all sizes costing from 50p to around £400. Our next stop is number 8 for Eton High Street.
Didn't see the teddy bear shop, did you? No. Those cars.
What cars?
In the shop.
The Eton coat of arms, which you may see on some of the shop signs lining the High Street, includes the 3 lilies that traditionally symbolise the Virgin Mary, the Lion of England, and the Fleur de Lis of France. These symbols commemorate the fact that King Henry VI, founder of Eton College, was King of England and France, although by the end of his reign, all of his dominions in France had been lost except Calais. As we approach the traffic lights, you'll get a fantastic view of the Eton College Chapel.
Why does it take us here?
Yeah.
It's supposed to. It's a sightseeing tour. So we can see everything.
Really nice thing.
Okay, I see. But I'm just going. That's Eton, you see. That's that school. That's Eton there. Tiffany in front of it.
We're approaching our next stop, number 9 for Eton College. The stop is just by the 19th century lamp post known as the Burning Bush,
look.
just outside the assembly hall. It's round this lamp post that teachers
their
and students
assembly hall.
congregate during the breaks in the school day. The school hall and school library to the left were opened in 1908. They were built as a memorial to those Old Etonians who fell in the Boer War. Old Etonians have been awarded 37 Victoria Crosses between them, the highest award for gallantry available to British servicemen. Just inside the wrought iron gates ahead is a cannon captured at the Battle of Sebastopol in the 1850s during the Crimean Wars. Most of the buildings to the left are boarding houses where the boys live during term time. There are around 25 such houses around the town. Each house is named after its tutor, who lends his initials to the name of the house. The headmaster is traditionally known as the head man, and teachers are known as beaks. Eton College is unusual among boarding schools in that every boy has his own room. Every year, students from Eton College and King's College, Cambridge, honour their founder, King Henry VI, on the anniversary of his murder on May the 21st, 1471, with the Lilies and Roses ceremony at the Tower of London. Representatives from both educational institutions walk in procession with beefeaters and the chaplain. A short service is conducted and a prayer is said, composed by Henry VI himself. A bunch of lilies from Eton, bound with pale blue silk, are laid on the site of his murder, together with a bunch of white roses from King's College, bound with purple ribbon. They're left there for 24 hours and then burnt. Students of Eton College participate in sports for 2 hours every day, and it's always been an integral part of school life here. As so many boys throughout the school's history have gone on to join the armed forces, its connections with the military is strong indeed. It's often been said that the Battle of Waterloo was won on the playing fields of Eton, many of which are in this area. The connection between Eton College and Windsor Castle, and by extension the monarchy itself, has always been very strong. Every year, Eton holds its speech day on the Wednesday closest to the 4th of June, the birthday of King George III. This is to commemorate the king who spent much of his time in Windsor in the late 18th century and would often stop by and chat to the young students between their lessons and invite them to the castle for tea.
There's that running track again.
We're approaching a bridge over the Jubilee River, which is a man-made channel built recently to protect the area from flooding. Originally to be called the Millennium River, the name was changed to Jubilee River to celebrate
We're
Queen
going to
Elizabeth
get off
II's
at the
Golden
station,
Jubilee.
aren't we, to get Tiffany Plaster.
To your left, across the fields, you'll see the high-rise buildings of Slough, a town most famous for its industrial estate, which is the largest in Western Europe, and more recently, as the home of the TV series The Office. According to British law, a new sovereign succeeds as soon as the predecessor dies, and is proclaimed king or queen at an accession council in St James's Palace in London, where a public proclamation is read out. Proclamations are also read out in several different spots in the cities of London, Edinburgh, York and Windsor. Our present Queen, Elizabeth II, was in Kenya with her husband, Prince Philip, when her father died in 1952. She returned to Britain immediately and was crowned at the age of 25. Elizabeth II insisted on her coronation being televised, and thousands of people bought their first television set for this occasion. St George's Chapel saw the burial of the Queen Mother, who died at the age of 101 on March the 30th, 2002. The Queen Mother was laid to rest alongside her husband, King George VI. The ashes of her daughter, Princess Margaret, who died 7 weeks previously, were interred at the same time in the family vault. We're a few minutes away from Datchet village. Datchet is one of the stopping places mentioned in the novel 3 Men in a Boat by Jerome K. Jerome. The novel tells the story of 3 men and a dog named Montmorency who take a boating excursion up the Thames. Originally titled The Story of the Thames, the book, whose full title is 3 Men in a Boat to Say Nothing of the Dog, was intended to be a history of the river. But the whimsical anecdotes and reflections enjoyed by so many readers eventually became the novel's central feature. Perhaps Jerome's best-known saying is about work, saying, "It fascinates me, I can look at it for hours." Datchet is mentioned in Shakespeare's play The Merry Wives of Windsor, which is full of references to this area.
Train tracks.
Yeah, we're going over them. Yeah.
We're now making our way back into Windsor town centre to our terminus point at the castle. Please remain seated at all times unless you're leaving the bus, and please be careful of any overhanging trees. As we make our way back into town, we'll be travelling over the Victoria Bridge, built in the mid-1800s at the same time as the Albert Bridge, over which we travelled earlier in the tour.
It's busy, isn't it? There. There's the river.
In 1992, on the morning of the Queen and Prince Philip's 45th wedding anniversary, residents of Windsor witnessed one of the most devastating fires to occur in the town. At 11:20, on the morning of November the 20th, 1992, flames were spotted in the private chapel of Windsor Castle. Local residents and members of the royal family and their household formed a human chain to rescue what they could, while firefighters battled with the flames, which raged for 15 hours. Around a fifth of the entire castle was destroyed, including much of St George's Hall. Firefighters pumped 1.5 million gallons of water into the castle in an attempt to control the fire. This is the equivalent to the amount of water flowing over the Niagara Falls every 2.5 seconds. The cost of the restoration of the castle was around £37 million, most of which was met by revenue from the admission fees to Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle. As we top Victoria Bridge, look ahead and slightly left for a magnificent view of Windsor
Yeah,
Castle.
a picture of the water.
Now look ahead and slightly to the
Yeah,
right,
well done.
and you may be able to make out the Eton College Chapel from where we've just come.
Oh yeah.
We're now travelling through the Home Park. Until 1851, the whole of this area was open to the public, but owned by the royal family. Queen Victoria and Prince Albert were tired of their lack of privacy, so with the coming of the railway to Riverside Station, Prince Albert came to an agreement with the local authority. On condition that the land to the left of the road was kept absolutely private, Albert leased the land to the right of the road to the local authority for sport. This is how it still is today. Prince Albert, an astute businessman, arranged for the railway company to build the Datchet Road and the Victoria and Albert bridges over the River Thames.
Right, we're going to get
The
off
flag is
soon.
all...
Should we just get off? Do we want to get off at the car, or should we get off at the car? Just in a minute, yeah? 'Cause this is where we parked, isn't it?
Our next stop is